I said, guess who's back? Man, guess who's back? I said, guess who's back?
Now, speaking of Spence, everybody's talking about him possibly parting ways with his trainer, Derek James. Yeah, right? Now, you got your son Geronimo at 47.
Right.
Spence is moving to 154.
Right.
Is that something that you would be interested in?
What's that?
Trainer Errol Spence.
Oh, I love the train Errol Spence, man. You know what I mean? I already put the message out already. You know what I mean? Spence, come see me, man. You know you my man. You know what I mean? I got something for you, man. You know what I mean? We get this shit right and get them titles back. You know what I mean?
What do you feel like you'll add to Errol Spence's game?
Well, Errol Spence is a great fighter, man. All I would put in the helm mostly with that defense technique that I do. Working on defense and change the style up a little bit. You know what I mean? I wouldn't. Matter of fact, I wouldn't change nothing that he's doing now. I would add on. That's what I would do. Add on my stuff to what he already know. And I think he'd be a spectacular fighter.
What's going on, boxing fans? It's Backchat TV, and I'm back with another video. Breaking news. Now we know Derek James and Errol Spence have been rumoured to have split. But recently, there's been some developments to this story, and we now are pretty sure, it's almost been confirmed, that they have definitely split. They no longer have a professional relationship with each other. And how we know this is there's been a few cryptic posts on social media. Now, we start with Errol Spence. Errol Spence, we already know that he said it was all over between him and Derek James. He also mentioned that he needs to find a new home. We knew that this was referring to Derek James. But recently, Derek James actually came out and had something on his social media. And it's some kind of movie where it had a cryptic message which many people are saying was aimed towards the split between Errol Spence and Derek James. This is on top of countless rumours that they've split and, taking down the posters in the gym. Rumours that Derek James said he doesn't want Errol Spence in the gym anymore. There was an interview on top of that with Derek James talking where he said he was asked about Errol Spence and, how come he hasn't been in the gym and how long was it when you spoke to him. And he said, I don't want to look back. There's no point looking backwards. If you look back, you can't see what's in front of you, which basically means their relationship is finished. Now, on top of that, we have the rumours that there was a split over money and finances. Perhaps Errol Spence didn't pay Derek James a percentage of the back-end money, which is the pay-per-view money and the stuff that you get, which is not the guaranteed fee. But obviously, I think Errol Spence has been giving bonuses to Derek James prior to this, and this is quite normal. On this occasion, apparently, he didn't. Now, what isn't common knowledge is that Bozy Ennis' team, his father, Bozy Ennis, I think he's saying his name, has reached out to Errol Spence. He mentioned it in an interview that he's personally reached out to Errol Spence. He said he would love to train Errol Spence. Errol Spence could come over. I think they're based in Philadelphia. But he advised Errol Spence to come down to the gym and work with him. And apparently, inside information has told me that he has spoken with Errol Spence about this and told him that he knows how to beat Terence Crawford. He's also mentioned that he wouldn't change Errol Spence's style. He still thinks Errol Spence has got a lot left. He said that it wasn't him against Terence Crawford. He's seen him way better than that. He said that he would be able to add on to Errol Spence's game, which would completely change him as a fighter. And he said that he would concentrate on his defense. He has a special type of defense that he trains in his gym. We see this evident in the fighters that he has, Cruz. We see it in his own son, most definitely in his own son, Bozy Ennis. His defense, his movement, his coordination is legendary. And he suggests that that is what he would be adding on to Errol Spence. He suggests that that is exactly what Errol Spence would need to have a chance to beat Terence Crawford. Now, what do I think of this? If this is true, we know Errol Spence needs a new trainer. It's very likely that it would be Boots Ennis' father. I think that Errol Spence would do very well to train with Boots Ennis. I think it would be absolutely perfect for Errol Spence, and I'll tell you why. I think that there's no trainer out there that can mimic the style of Terence Crawford. There's no other trainer out there who could teach Errol Spence how to deal with that tricky style, switch hitting like Boots Ennis can do, the movement, the coordination between the hands and the feet, the head movement, the defense, the ring generalship, all the things that you see Boots Ennis do. That is what they teach. That is exactly what Errol Spence needs. That's exactly what Errol Spence is missing. I think that Boots Ennis has an amazing camp over there, what they're teaching. His father, Andy Cruz, his son. If you watch the way that they fight, they have so much skill. And that's what's missing from a lot of people. A lot of people say, oh, he could go to, Freddie Roach or Abel Sanchez. These guys cannot teach Errol Spence what he needs. Abel Sanchez's style is like what you see with Triple G. That going forward and that same style. Errol Spence already has that style. He has a Triple G style. He doesn't need Abel Sanchez. Freddie Roach, the way he taught Manny Pacquiao. It's very anti-defense. Errol Spence doesn't need that. Errol Spence needs that skillful hit and not get hit style that the Ennis team teach. I can't think of any trainer better than Boots Ennis. And the funny thing about it is he actually wants to train Errol Spence. So I think it's a match made in heaven. If Errol Spence is smart, he will not let this opportunity disappear. He'll take this opportunity as soon as possible. If I was Errol Spence in his position, I would take up this opportunity because there is no other trainer that can teach Errol Spence what he needs to have a chance of beating someone like Terence Crawford. And the funny thing about it, you could say, well, Boots Ennis and Errol Spence are kind of rivals. But since Errol Spence has moved up to 154 pounds, Boots Ennis is still at 147 welterweight. They're not rivals really anymore. They're fighting at different weight classes now. So, I think Errol Spence would do so well sparring, training with Andy Cruz, who's one of the slickest fighters I've seen, Boots Ennis and his father, and the way that they teach fighting in the gym. Errol Spence would do amazing. He would be learning something totally different. And even if you say, well, that's not Errol Spence's style, he can't learn this style, he can't change. He still needs to know how to defend against this style. He needs to, even if he doesn't take on board this style and can't fight like Boots Ennis, he needs to know how to fight against the style at least. Because if he can spar and train with Boots Ennis day in and day out, and Andy Cruz, the style and the skills that these guys have, and he can just learn not to get hit and how to evade their attacks, he'll do better against Terence Crawford. I'll tell you that now. I guarantee you, at 154 pounds in a rematch, he'll do better against Terence Crawford. Because the thing that Errol Spence really is missing is those skills. That skill set of evading punches, defense, coordinating his footwork with his hand speed, which is not that great with his punches. The head movement, the special type of defense that they teach there. Errol Spence needs all of that, and I think that Errol Spence has a skill set which suits him, and it's a good skill set. It beats most people, but it doesn't beat Terence Crawford, and this is what he needs. Now, if anyone out there can think of a better trainer for Errol Spence in this position, where at some point he's going to meet Terence Crawford again, let me know. But to be honest, I can't think of anyone better. Andy Cruz is so slick. I've never seen Andy Cruz get hit. He's so quick with his hand speed. Such a skill set. and they can switch hit and all sorts. You know, the thing that gave Errol Spence a lot of trouble was the switch hitting of Terence Crawford. So, you know, like I said, I'm not going to make the video too much longer. It seems to be the fact that there has been behind the scenes talking to Errol Spence and messages, as Bozy Ennis puts it, sent to Errol Spence. I think he should take up the opportunity, to be honest. He needs to be learning a new skill set from now. If his next training camp can be with the Ennis training camp, as he goes into this Fundora fight, if he does get the Fundora fight, whichever fight he gets into, he can start implementing this new style, and he can have a few fights at 154 pounds with this new style. Maybe somewhere down the line we can see a rematch with Terence Crawford where he actually has a chance of winning. I feel really strongly about this. Without Spence going to the Ennis camp, I think he hasn't got a chance at any weight against Terence Crawford, because the skill set gap is too wide. So, you know, that's my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Do you think Errol Spence would do well to take Bozy Ennis trainer up on his offer, or do you think there's somebody else out there? I'm on to the next one.
I said, guess who's back? Man, guess who's back? I said, guess who's back?